Alright, YouTube gang, I am back. It's your boy FridayRandomMedia, and I'm here with episode 1, kicking off season 2 of our Versus Battle series here on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube channel and check out the playlist if you want to check out season 1. So, I'm not going to dive too deep into the origins and the backstories for these characters. First, we have Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin of the Marvel Universe, versus the man who broke the bat, Bane, of the DC Universe. Working his way up the ranks in the mob, Fisk found himself betraying his mentor for the sake of power, and a couple doubloons along the way. Meanwhile, Bane, longtime prisoner of the Peñadero prison, would break out onto the scene in Gotham City, being a menace on his Venom steroid drug rampage. Now, for this video, we're going to be going over 5 main categories for our combatants. First off being strength, second being attack power and durability, third being combat speed, fourth being battle IQ, and the fifth being powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. So, those are our 5 main categories. Then after we break all that down, I'm going to break down how I think the battle would go down play by play, give y'all a front row seat. And yeah, without chatting too much, let's get into these categories. So the first character we're going to be going over is Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. Our first category is going to be the strength category. Kingpin is not just a normal human. He's around 400-500 pounds of straight muscle, kind of like a strongman build, or you can compare it to like a sumo wrestler build. Kingpin easily tears through walls, staircases, even able to do this to vehicles. Kingpin has swung around a 1,500-pound barbell like a baseball bat as a weapon. So, to me, this tells me that he can easily lift, throw, move over a ton, 2,000 pounds. More than likely, he is somewhere over the 10-tonner range, around there. If he was anywhere compared to another Marvel character, maybe similar to Black Panther, Captain America, Wolverine, somewhere in that enhanced and meta-human strength category. Moving on to category number 2, we have attack power and durability. So, of course, lumped together because, in many cases other than not, a character's attack power and durability is, I'd say, similarly scaled. You usually take what you can dish out. Not always, and I do make my exceptions, but let's move on. I like to play by my own rules here. So Kingpin's attack power and durability. Starting small. Kingpin is surprisingly durable to sharp projectiles like arrows, throwing stars, hardly phasing him. On top of that, Kingpin is going toe-to-toe with Daredevil on the regular. Kingpin has traded hands with Spider-Man. Even a time where he traded hands with Spider-Man for about 6 hours straight, and Spider-Man was wondering, when the hell is this dude going to be done? There was even a time where Kingpin and Dr. Doom had to settle the beef, mano-a-mano, one-on-one, and Kingpin tanked a blast from Doom and proceeded to yeet this man off the roof. Pretty impressive. We're going to move on to category number 3, combat speed. How fast is Kingpin in the midst of battle? And shockingly enough, Kingpin is pretty damn quick in the pocket. As I stated before, he's been throwing hands with both Daredevil and Spider-Man, 2 of the quickest and most acrobatic goats on the street tiers as far as Marvel is concerned. Kingpin's even brawled with Captain America and Black Panther, both being exceptionally quick fighters. Kingpin has been shown to even disarm several attackers at once without being fired on. So, yeah, say what you want about his size, but Fisk is quick in the pocket. Now, moving on to category number 4, battle IQ, battle intelligence. Kingpin has strength and size on his side, but he's also no slouch in the IQ department. There's been many times where Kingpin's been able to beat up like several basic enemies at once, and even one time he was ambushed by 6 ninjas and managed to take them out. On top of that, Kingpin has gone toe-to-toe with Captain America and Black Panther, as I said before, both considered some of the most elite martial artists in the Marvel Universe, so I don't think that's something to be taken lightly. Aside from physical finesse, in the midst of battle, Kingpin's fortress, Fisk Tower, is lined with a shitload of traps and defenses. Also, something to mention here, Kingpin can often break people's will before a fight even starts, and this is how he's able to control so many thugs at once. So we're going to move on to our final category here, 5th and final category, powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. Something worth mentioning, once again, is Kingpin's sheer size. Sometimes he's depicted as a 400, 500-pound man, but sometimes Kingpin is up to nearly half a ton considering his size, almost comparable to Ben Grimm, the Thing, in size at times. This allows his enhanced or meta human physical abilities. Um, and this has led a lot of people to even speculate and theorize that maybe Kingpin is actually a mutant, and maybe this will, be shown in a storyline down the line. Now, Kingpin doesn't carry a traditional weapon like a gun or anything, but he does occasionally have his Kingpin cane, which doubles as a blade. And some will be shocked to know this, but this cane has been shown to hold knockout gas and a fucking laser gun. So, yeah, some comic logic there. So we're gonna wrap up that with Mr. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, and we are gonna move on to his competition, Bane. So let us begin with Bane, category number 1. We are back in the strength category. Something important to note here about Bane is his physical attributes fluctuate depending on how much venom he's injected, if any at all. So Bane has shown peak human strength at his lowest, naturally handling 1,500 pounds. Now, on a relatively safe or normal dose of venom, Bane can handle 3 to 5 tons. However, if he's juiced to the gills, Bane can go even higher. So it just keeps fluctuating. Bane's been shown throwing a storage container unit weighing upwards to 15 tons. So on the juice, shit can get out of hand really quick with Bane. Moving on, category number 2, attack power and durability. Just like strength, his AP and his durability fluctuates based on his usage of venom. So Bane's been seen shattering walls, busting through vehicles, the normal stuff you usually see. Bane has tanked falls from great heights off buildings and out of windows. Bane has also tanked low-level heat, blade, poison attacks, showing off some of his invulnerabilities here. As far as AP goes, Bane has one-shotted the likes of Poison Ivy and Man-Bat, and even scrapping with Killer Croc, and on one occasion, embarrassing Croc completely. Aside from taking out other rogues, Bane, as we all know, has even broken the Bat. Yes, he's defeated Batman himself with the WWE backbreaker move, pretty legendary. So yeah, that should cover it for attack power and durability for Bane. We're going to move on to category number 3, combat speed. In the heat of battle, how quick is Bane? So, based on Bane's venom, his speed will fluctuate as well, although not as directly as noticeable. On several occasions, Bane has shown the speed to block, dodge, even catch projectiles like Batman's batarangs. The throwing speed of Batman's batarangs is actually super underrated, and maybe I'll do a video on that sometime. On top of that, just being able to keep up with Batman in the pocket is very impressive, especially when Batman is able to get the drop on him. Aside from that, Bane has been shown to blitz several gunmen at once without being fired on, so he's relatively even with Kingpin when we're talking about speed here. It's a lot of the similar feats here. Category number 4, we're going to start talking about battle IQ, and this is something that a lot of people may actually overlook if they don't know much about Bane. He's not just a brute, but he's also a tactical genius. Bane is skilled with weapons such as blades and firearms, but his best known weapon that he's most knowledgeable on is his body. Bane can keep up with Batman on a consistent basis, as being able to outpace him actually, as well as mauling Red Hood at a time. When Bane is outmuscled, for example, Killer Croc could be considered stronger than Bane in the form he was. He often uses his skill to change the tide of battle, and this is impressive considering that he himself is usually the bigger guy. So we're going to get into category number 5, the 5th and final category here, powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. So Bane is seen rocking a few different looks, but he's most known, and his most important bit of gear that I keep bringing up this whole entire time is his venom. The more venom that Bane injects, the stronger, quicker, more durable, and even more intelligent Bane seems to get. Bane can go from 100 to 0 very quickly with the venom, but it also does have its drawbacks. the higher the dose, the more lethal and hazardous it becomes for Bane's health. So, theoretically, too much venom could kill him. However, he seems to be the only one who actually survived the experiments with venom. So, um, yeah, it's very, very double-edged sword there. So there it is. We broke down both characters from both verses, their strength, attack power, durability, combat speed, their battle IQ, and their powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. So, what is the verdict here? Which combatant takes which categories, in my opinion? Starting with strength, Kingpin, I would usually take in base form, but when the Venom is on strong, I would take Bane. However, because of this, I'm going to label it a draw. And moving on to attack power, durability, and even combat speed, I'm going to label all of them a draw because of this in the Venom factor. Moving on to battle IQ, Kingpin went toe to toe with some of the greats in his verse, but when it comes down to it, he relies more on his brute force. Bane consistently goes toe to toe with better combatants and keeps up with them and even bests them more often than not. So I'm going to give the battle IQ to Bane. Powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. As I said before, Kingpin is the most impressive combat when it comes to base form, but ultimately, Bane's Venom is going to get the job done. I give the last category to Bane. It really is an absolute barn burner of a battle here, easily one of the closest battles across the board for several reasons. So that's really why I wanted to do this one. I only like to do battles that seem to be neck and neck. So, who do I see winning? How do I see the battle playing out? Here's my play-by-play. Kingpin versus Bane. I see this battle playing out over a money dispute. To get the drop on Daredevil, Kingpin hires a new member of his gang, Bane. The two come to a dispute about the previously agreed upon amount of money being paid. This leads to Kingpin and Bane squaring up 1v1 at the top floor of Fisk Tower. Kingpin throws his desk at Bane's direction, charging directly for him. Bane dodges the desk and Kingpin's charge, tripping Kingpin to the floor. Bane takes a hit of venom, and Kingpin rises to his feet, realizing the challenge before him. Kingpin tosses more objects towards Bane, who punches through each projectile. Bane advances, landing numerous punches, then gets close to grab Kingpin, but this proves to be a mistake. Kingpin quickly reverses the grip on Bane, using his size and strength to get him in a bear hug, then slamming Bane through the floor. The floor collapses, and the two continue their brawl on the floor beneath. Kingpin takes this chance to spring on Bane, landing several devastating blows. Kingpin rains his balled fists upon Bane repeatedly, but hasn't noticed Bane upping his venom supply. Bane lets out a roar, and Kingpin's blows struggle to phase Bane, now turning the tide. Bane kicks Kingpin off of him, and once again the two square up. Bane wastes no time, landing shot after shot on Kingpin. Kingpin realizes Bane breaking him down strike by strike, and Bane continues to land the combos, punches, kicks, trips, slams. Now desperate, Kingpin takes a Hail Mary chance, using what's left to charge directly into Bane and send both of them out of the window of Fisk Towers. They both tumble about 6 stories down until landing on a nearby rooftop. Kingpin struggles to get to his feet covered in blood, bruises, cuts, and more. Meanwhile, Bane rises to his feet with a roar. Bane's eyes and veins now glowing from the venom amp, even more intense than before. Bane's muscles nearly bursting from his suit, he takes the opportunity to finish Kingpin, but as he approaches, he's zapped by a laser from none other than Kingpin's cane weapon. Clever move on Kingpin's part, but it simply isn't enough. Bane continues, landing massive punches down on Kingpin, and while Kingpin wheezes, struggling to breathe, Bane finishes the Kingpin with a well-placed stomp to the head. That's right, Bane takes the W. However, upon leaving the scene, the venom's potency begins fading, giving Bane its weakening, almost poison-like side effects. As he stops to recover, in front of him land 2 figures, the Batman and the Man Without Fear. All right, love it or hate it, I have Bane coming out on top. If you disagree, or even if you do agree, comment down below. If you got any more suggestions for dope ass battles, no matter what fictional universe, Marvel, DC, Image, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Fallout, Skyrim, God of War, I don't care. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to see. I got plenty more stuff coming up. And since we are in the midst of season 2 of this versus battle series, we just wrapped up episode 1. In 2 weeks' time, 2 Fridays from now, we're going to have episode 2. 2 Fridays from that, episode 3, and so on. At least 4 episodes are going to come out. So, once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Friday Random Media on TikTok and YouTube. Have a good day. I'm out.